Hi, this is Maria from SAS, and in this tutorial we're going to learn how to add a date is or a date after function to an existing path in your script. So a date is function might be used if you need your calls to be handled differently depending on the date. Let's say that I run a business and I have a promotion every month on the 15th of the month, and I want the operators to ask callers different questions on that date as opposed to the rest of the month. A date after function might be used, let's say if I'm going on vacation. So if I'm taking a holiday from December 25th through January 1st, date after December 24th, I want my calls handled one way to let callers know that the office is closed, and then date after January 1st, the calls would be going back to their regular call handling. So let's open up the call script builder and we will get started. Click on campaigns from the menu on the left, and then under active campaigns, click on the details icon to the far right of the campaign you'd like to edit. Then in the upper right corner, click edit your script, and that will open the call script builder. Once it opens, you want to navigate to the path where you'd like to make your change. So in this case, we're going to add a date is function to this emergency path. Essentially, the date is going to replace the closing. So we're going to click on the step prior to the closing so that we can remove that and add in our date step. So click on regarding emergency here, scroll to the top, and we're going to select the hyphen or the dash icon here, then click save in the lower left corner, and that will give us our new step. So now we have a red dot followed by the words new step. We're going to click here, and then we're going to scroll down to logic option. So essentially a date check step, which is what we're going to be adding, that's our function step. It is a logic option because it's giving the system a choice. So depending on which date it is, the system will select that date and then apply the call handling that is for that particular date. So we're going to click continue here. Then the step label and the field name are going to enter as the same thing. So we'll do date check, no spaces, and then the function you're going to enter as function, open parentheses, date is, close parentheses. So I'm entering the function into the text area here, entering it as function, open parentheses, date is, closed parentheses with no spaces. Now if I were entering a date after function, it would be the same thing except that is would be replaced with after. So once you have added this in exactly as we have it here, click save in the lower left corner. Then you'll see when the path repopulates that I have the date check step that we've just added, followed by a little red asterisk, and that means that it is a logic option step. So in the lower left corner of this logic option, we're going to click on view options, and that's where we're going to add our options in here. So we'll click add new in the lower left corner. And then we're going to add in our first date is. So we'll do date is 12/1/2015. Click add. You'll notice that when I'm entering this, I enter it with no spaces. Date is space 12/02/2015. So I'm entering 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the day, and 4 digits for the year, each with a / in between. And then I'm going to click add, and we'll add in one more. Now you can see that they have all populated with the number 1 and that they're listed in ascending order. That's fine for a date is step, and that's exactly what we want. If we were doing this as a date after, so if it had date after : and then the date, we need to renumber that so that it appears in descending order. So date after 12/3 would be listed as number 1, then date after 12/2 would be listed as number 2, and date after 12/1 would be listed as number 3. So in order to change those numbers, you just click edit, and then in the box on the left here, you make that change. So we don't need to do that in this case. We're just going to click cancel here, close out this pop-up, and then click save, and our path will repopulate. So you can see here now we have our date check step followed by the 3 options that we just entered. We want to click on the plus sign next to each of these to expand it, and you can see that just as we had before, we have a red dot followed by new step. So what we're going to do is add a different closing based on the date, and we're going to say that on any particular night, a certain person is going to be receiving the notification of emergency calls. So on 12/1, we're going to have Annie receive notification. On 12/2, we'll have Gustavo receive notification. And on 12/3, we'll have Sam. So we're going to click on New Step. Then from the Step menu over here, we're going to select Closing, being sure to select the closing above the asterisks. So select this, click Continue, and then we're going to add in our special closing here. So we'll do Closing, Annie. And let's personalize a message so that the caller knows who's going to be getting in touch with them. So I'll pass this message along to Annie and she'll be in touch with you soon. And then our call result is just going to be emergency. So click Save. Now we're going to do the same thing with the other two date check steps, or date is steps. You can see that the first one we've just entered has a green dot followed by closing Annie. That's our first closing. So click on the next one. And again, select closing from above the asterisks. Click Continue. And our next one will be... And again, you can change the text if you would like, but for this, we're just going to click Continue and click Save in the left corner here. And then we have one more to do. So we are going to have Sam handle the closing on this date. And again, the call result will be emergency. So we're going to click Save. Now you can see that the path is totally repopulated. So we have the date check with our 3 different options and our 3 different closings. And what we need to do now is make sure that Annie, Gustavo, and Sam are going to receive notification for this particular date. So when the call closes, we want to make sure that Annie receives notification on the 1st, Gustavo receives notification on the 2nd, and Sam on the 3rd. In order to do that, we're going to go back to that logic option step. So we're going to click on Date Check, and then in the lower left corner, we're going to click View Options. Then in the Assign To column, we're going to select the proper location so that when the call closes, the right person gets notification. So the first one is Annie. We're going to just click the drop down here, click Annie, and then on the right-hand side, click Update. And the next one is Gustavo. And you can see that when we are editing something, the line will appear in yellow. And then click Update on the right. And one last time, click Edit. And then we'll click Sam and Update on the right. So now we have added in our date is steps. We have assigned them to the proper location. And that's it. Everything is individualized. So we have the closings appropriate for each date. And again, if you were adding a date after, the function would be a little different. So you can see here, function date is. If you were adding in a date after step, it would be function date after, keeping in mind to have no spaces in between. And then you're going to go into your view options, add in each option. So ascending order is what you want for date is, and descending order is what you want for date after. And remember that if you're doing descending order, you're going to go in and number the specific paths to make sure that they appear in the right order. So that's it. You have now added your date check step and you're all set. Have fun using the call script builder, and if you need help with anything, definitely give support a call.